Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've ever sent an invoice, you've probably had that sinking feeling when you realize, oh no, I made a mistake. It's a total headache, right? But there's a professional way to fix it. So today, we're going to clear up all the confusion around the tools for correcting those errors, credit and debit notes.
I mean, come on, we've all been there. Maybe you accidentally typed in the wrong price, or you totally forgot to apply that special discount you promised, and you get that awkward moment where you realize you've billed for way too much and you need a clean, professional way to make it right.
And then, of course, there's the flip side of that coin. You shoot off an invoice, feeling great, and then it hits you. You forgot to add the freight costs, or you missed an entire item, so now you have to go back to the customer, kind of cap in hand, and ask for more money without looking disorganized.
So, how do you handle all this without sending a bunch of messy, confusing emails, or even worse, scribbling on old invoices? Well, that's where two very important documents come in: credit notes and debit notes. These are the official and, more importantly, the audit-proof way to make these adjustments.
It's actually super simple when you break it down. Just think of it like this. A credit note gives credit back to your customer. It reduces the amount they owe you. A debit note, it does the exact opposite. It debits their account for more, increasing what they owe. So one is for giving money back, and the other is for adding to the bill. Simple as that. All right, so we get what they are. But the real question is, when do you actually use them? Let's dive into the why behind it all. The practical, everyday situations where these documents are absolutely essential for keeping your finances clean and your customers happy. Okay, first up, let's talk about the credit note. This is your go-to tool anytime you need to lower a customer's bill after you've already sent the invoice. And there are some really common reasons you'd need to do this. This pretty much covers every oops moment where you owe the customer something. A sales return, that's when they send damaged goods back. A rate revision is for when you realize you overcharged them. Quantity difference, that's for when you billed for 10 items but only sent 9. You can even issue one for a post-invoice discount, maybe as a reward or to fix a tax miscalculation. All of these need a credit note. Now let's flip the coin and look at the debit note. This is what you'll use when you realize you didn't charge the customer enough on that original invoice.
Yeah, the whole point here is to correct an undercharge. You'd issue a debit note for underbilling. Say you forgot to add a service to the invoice. Or for additional charges, like last-minute packing fees. It's also for fixing a tax shortfall, like if you use the wrong tax rate. And this last one's interesting: reversal of excess credit. That's for when you mess up and issue a credit note that was too big, and you need to correct your correction.
Okay, so we've totally covered the why. Now let's get to the how. Look, creating these things manually is a real pain, and honestly, it's just asking for errors. But thankfully, modern systems like BRS ERP make it incredibly simple. Let's see how that works. And this is the game changer, right here. Forget about typing up a whole new document from scratch, worrying if the format is right, or doing all the math by hand. The goal is to be fast and, more importantly, accurate. And check out how easy this makes it. You just follow the steps, you pick your customer, and then, and this is the magic part, you select the original invoice that needs fixing. Boom. The system instantly pulls in all the details. You just make your little adjustment, type in a quick reason why, and hit save. That's literally it.
No, seriously, it's that fast. What used to be a 10-minute job, full of chances to mess something up, is now a 30-second, totally error-proof process. It's a no-brainer.
This quote right here is so important. When you link it to the original invoice, the system doesn't just pull the product info, it pulls the exact billing and shipping address used for that one transaction. This is huge because it stops you from accidentally sending the note to the wrong office, and it keeps your records perfectly connected.
So, making the note is easy, but doing it right means you've got to follow a few golden rules. And trust me, this is what separates clean, professional accounting from a future audit nightmare. Let's look at the absolute must-dos. These are totally non-negotiable. First, every single note has to be tied back to an original invoice. No exceptions. Second, it needs to be authorized. Not just anyone in the company should be able to issue credits, right? Third, you have to play by the tax laws, like the rules for GST. And last but not least, always create these records as if an auditor is watching you right now.
Which brings us to a super important idea, the audit trail. A good system like BRS ERP doesn't let you just delete things. Why? Because you need a permanent story of what happened. It logs who created the note, who approved it, and exactly when. If you make another mistake, you just reverse it with a new transaction. It creates this crystal clear, traceable history. That is your ultimate protection.
And that's the final thought I really want to leave you with. When you have to fix an invoice, you're not just correcting a number.
You're creating a permanent financial record. So the real question you have to ask yourself is this: are you just putting a quick Band-Aid on a problem for today, or are you building a clear, compliant, and rock-solid record for the future?